Have you ever stood in a room and felt the atmosphere turn on its axis the very moment a quiet figure walked out? No dramatic exits, no slammed doors, just an unmistakable vacuum where their presence had been. Conversation stalls, eyes search the space, and suddenly people scramble to regain footing they didn't know depended on that person. That kind of authority isn't earned by volume, it's earned by restraint. Imagine what would happen if you embraced the same art. If, rather than rushing to patch every silence with words, you let quiet settle and force the world to recalibrate around you. The habit of instant reaction is baked into us from childhood. We're praised for quick answers, for agreeable nods, for saying sure when every cell screams no. We're told responsiveness is kindness, that the girl who texts back in seconds and the colleague who accepts every late-night request are paragons of reliability. Yet the very predictability that masquerades as virtue is the lever anyone can pull to steer you. One tug for comfort, another for validation, a third for attention, and you dance in place, drained but smiling, hoping recognition will follow. It rarely does. Swiss psychiatrist Jung observed that whatever provokes us the most also illuminates us the most. When your sudden unavailability rattles someone, that tremor reveals the scaffolding of expectation they draped over you. They weren't upset because you changed. They were upset because you refused the part you've been cast in. The moment you withhold the reflexive nod, the automatic agreement, their illusion fractures, and in the shards, they must finally examine who they are without your constant cushioning. Every impulsive apology, each over-explained decision, every late-night call you answer merely to keep the peace chisels away a sliver of your psychic capital. It's no wonder you collapse into bed at night feeling hollow, as though you hauled an invisible freight all day. You did. Psychic energy, as Jung described, is finite. Spend it on fruitless arguments, on defending yourself against attacks that don't merit rebuttal, and you'll wake up bankrupt, ripe for manipulation by anyone who promises a quick emotional loan at an extortionate interest rate. Manipulators rarely announce themselves. They whisper compliments laced with obligation. They pose questions engineered to reopen healing wounds. They know precisely which tone makes you hurry to reassure. What's their secret? They study reactions. They catalog the flinch behind your smile, the way your knuckles whiten when accused of selfishness, the softening in your voice when someone says they just need a minute. Once they can predict you, they can program you. But here's the glitch in their code: silence. A non-response short-circuits the entire script. Expecting your usual cascade of comfort and instead receiving stillness, they're forced to confront their own need, a mirror many refuse to face. Silence, though, is not passive. It is concentrated presence. It's tasting every breath before it exits your mouth, asking whether that exhale should carry words or simply remain air. Strategic quiet is an internal nod to yourself that your energy deserves a gatekeeper. From the outside, it may look like aloofness. From the inside, it feels like finally sitting in the throne room of your own mind. Of course, trading reflexive chatter for intentional quiet invites backlash. Friends may label you distant. Relatives may test boundaries you never set before. Colleagues might brand your measured email cadence uncooperative. It stings at first, so much that you'll be tempted to backslide into hyper-availability just to make the tension vanish. But hold. Discomfort is the temple door to authenticity, and every worthwhile transformation has demanded its toll in misunderstood silence. If you watch closely, you'll notice a pattern. Those who truly cherish your essence adapt. Those who cherished only your utility retreat. People whose love was transactional grow impatient when the vending machine no longer dispenses on command. Let them leave. Space abandoned by conditional relationships becomes fertile ground for something rarer. Connections rooted in mutual respect, not emotional extraction. Guarding your energy isn't about building walls high enough to exile humanity. It's about installing doors you open by choice rather than compulsion. You'll discover small, potent practices. Letting messages sit unread until your mind is clear, pausing before you reply so your response is a decision, not a knee-jerk, leaving gatherings when the atmosphere turns toxic instead of staying to manage everyone's mood. Each tiny act is a vote cast for your sovereignty. Sovereignty does not scream, it whispers. It's found in the gentle no without an accompanying essay of justification. It's in the turned-off phone during dinner because nourishment, both physical and emotional, asks for undivided attention. It glows in the eyes of someone who can listen to critique without erupting, who can field provocation without sprinting onto the battlefield. Paradoxically, such restraint radiates power more forcefully than any amplified outburst. Yet even kings and queens of inner kingdoms pass through valleys of loneliness. When the phone quiets, when old patterns no longer buzz with familiar chaos, silence can echo like abandonment. Resist the urge to fill it. In that hush, you'll meet yourself minus the roles, minus the masks. At first, the encounter is awkward. You're a stranger to your own unperformed face. But as days pass, solitude reshapes into sanctuary. Clarity drifts in. You see ambitions that were never yours, obligations inherited rather than chosen, wounds disguised as duties. With each revelation, you reclaim a fragment of self that had been outsourced to appease someone else. Here's where individuation, Jung's term for becoming a whole, distinct individual, accelerates. The energy once siphoned into defending personas is reinvested in creation. Ideas bloom, art emerges, goals sharpen. You realize you are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are an architect drawing blueprints from the inside out. Some will be startled by your new outline. They'll say you're different, as though stasis were a virtue. Let them whisper. Evolution was never meant to be a consensus vote. Expect guilt to rear its head, a phantom voice murmuring that selective presence is selfish. Counter it with truth. Martyrdom is not love. Depletion is not generosity. Healthy generosity flows from surplus, and surplus can't accumulate in a leaky vessel. Every boundary you assert seals another fissure in your hull, allowing authentic compassion, given freely, not coerced, to pool and overflow. Eventually, the landscape transforms. Relationships that survive the drought of your immediate reactions deepen. They become dialogues instead of monologues, exchanges instead of withdrawals. You no longer orbit others. You share a sky where each person shines in their own right. Paradoxically, by being less available, you become more valuable. Your words carry weight because they are chosen. Your presence resonates because it isn't guaranteed. And so the cycle completes, from compulsive response to measured silence, from drained invisibility to radiant scarcity, from puppeteered availability to steadfast autonomy. The question now is simple, though living the answer is anything but. Are you willing to endure misinterpretation to secure inner freedom? Will you trade the applause of the predictable for the quiet of the authentic? If your heart murmurs yes, however faintly, anchor that vow. Write it, speak it, live it. And when the old reflexes tug at your sleeve, remind yourself that every unreturned message, every moment of sacred pause, every graceful exit is not a rejection of others, but an affirmation of you. Guard that truth, and the world will learn, eventually, how to meet you where you stand, centered and unafraid. Thank you for spending these minutes, deepening your commitment to yourself. If this journey resonated, share how you choose your peace, subscribe so you won't miss our next exploration, and let us know in the comments which moment in your life proved the power of strategic silence. Your voice, offered deliberately, might be the very compass someone else needs today.